Hello and welcome to Archvelder's Hacks with Archvelder and his amazing hacks. In this video we'll be looking at some secret methods to use to farm the world bosses of Outland and simultaneously quickly access some amazing farms in the same areas. Outland world bosses drop some of the most valuable items in the game, regularly dropping gear which sells for tens or even hundreds of thousands of gold. If you have a quick and easy method to farm these bosses, then this can be one of the most profitable ways to spend your time in the game. Now, since patch 8.15 has been released, there is no access to the old Dark Portal for the vast majority of players, meaning that for the first time it is actually quite difficult to get to Hellfire Peninsula. Now, you'd think this would be a bad thing, but this actually creates an amazing opportunity for gold farmers. If you learn the secret route that I'm going to show you now, as you'll be facing less competition. You are going to have to do a bit of portal hopping here. First, go to your faction's portal room and go to Shattrath. Now, there's another portal to your immediate right, and this one is to the Isle of Keldanas. Go through this portal and now go to the northwest of Keldanas and pick up the quest, the Missing Magistrix, in this hut here from Captain Theris Stornhearth. Now, it is very important to understand that you must never complete this quest and must always leave it active in your quest log. This quest gives you the item Captured Legion Scroll. That's a quest item. Go to Dawning Square and there you'll find a green portal. Activate the scroll inside the green portal and it will instantly port you to the throne of Kil'jaeden in Hellfire Peninsula Outland. This way is significantly faster than flying from Shattrath, even if you have a slow connection. I can do it in about 30 to 40 seconds using the scroll method. Flying directly from Shattrath at full flying speed takes over 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Alternatively, if you don't want to use one of your main characters, then you can just create and park a class trial in Outland or in any of the world boss locations anywhere in the game world. Because it's a class trial, you can set up a character on a very lowly populated realm. That's assuming that you just want to pay for a token with the gold that you're going to make, as you can almost monopolize the world bosses in realms with very low player populations.
Welcome aboard.
Now, having got to the throne of Kil'jaeden, this handsome chap, Lord Kazzak, spawns once every 2 to 4 hours. Lord Kazzak drops multiple items which sell for a lot of gold on the auction house. This staff, which my gnome is modelling, is the exodar life staff. That has sold for up to 150,000 gold, though its average sell price is around 80,000. Now, if you want to maximise your chances of encountering Lord Kazzak, then it's worth pointing out that the best primal fire farm in the whole game is also in the throne of Kil'jaeden. There's mobs all over the place which drop motes of fire. 10 motes make a primal fire which sells for around 500 gold. Now, you'll want to use a druid, a balanced druid with the Fury of Elune talent if possible, as currently this is bugged and can be used in travel form, so you can kill and loot mobs at maximum speed. Now, Fury of Elune is on a 1 minute cooldown, so in between you can use a macro to cancel travel form, that's / cancel aura travel form, cast Sunfire and then recast travel form, and you should be able to keep your travel form whilst farming. If you're using a class trial here, bear in mind that you only get 3 hours played, that's 3 hours in-game played, before your account gets locked, so make sure you transfer all the items you farmed over to a main before your account gets locked. Now we're off to Shadowmoon Valley, still in Outland, where world boss Doomwalker periodically materializes outside of the Black Temple. Like Kazik, Doomwalker used to spawn very infrequently. In fact, I had literally never seen Doomwalker before this expansion, but his respawn timer has been reduced from days to 2 to 4 hours. The most desirable item that this world boss drops is the two-handed axe Ethereum Nexus Reaver. That fetches an average of almost 100,000 gold across all realms. But even if that doesn't drop for you, you will always get multiple items worth an average of 40,000 gold or more. Now, the global average of the value of the items Lord Kazzak and Doomwalker drop is around 50,000 gold, so just checking to see if they are up is quite profitable. There's around a 5% chance that either will be up if you just check at random. So you're looking at an average of around 2,500 gold in item value for something which takes 30 seconds to check. That's a minute for the both of them. Now, I'm not really a fan of item value because transmog items can take a while to sell, but I do post these big ticket items regularly. It is a wonderful feeling when you get a huge lump sum of gold. Now, how do you get to Black Temple quickly? There's a number of ways. The first way is to use the necklace, the Blessed Medallion of Karabor, and that has a usability which teleports you directly to outside the Black Temple. Now, this item can only be attained by completing a lengthy quest chain in Shadowmoon Valley. I'll give a link in the description below as to how to do that. There is also a toy called Fractured Necrolite Skull. This will require 750 time walking badges and can only be purchased from Kupri in Shatrath City during time walking Burning Crusade only. Now, this last method you'll already know if you watched my recent video on portals. If you quested through Legion, then you probably have a Naru in your order hall, which will allow you to replay this version of the Black Temple raid from Illidan's perspective. If you log out of this raid while it is in progress, you will find yourself outside the temple. Now, you can check to see whether Doomwalker is up while simultaneously farming the Black Temple. No, you won't be able to use a class trial for this, as legacy raids are not enabled for class trials. Now, we want to be checking for Doomwalker quite frequently, so we don't want to run the full Black Temple because that takes ages. What I'd like to do is farm the temple for Motes of Water. Now, Motes of Water drop from these aqueous mobs in this chamber, in this area near the entrance. And you can find a very similar group in the tunnel area to the left of the first boss. Now, this farm can be dramatically sped up with the strategic use of lag. This works with any speed enhancing ability. Look what happens when my monk rolls here. It's very underwhelming. But look what happens when I try the same thing with strategic use of lag. The roll goes on forever. This farm, combined with the Doomwalker kills, has historically been a strong supplement to my gold making. If you find legacy farms like this fascinating, you may wish to consider signing up for my Patreon, where there's an absolute ton of content like this, including a lot of methods which are far too powerful to talk about publicly. This is actually one area where I've got several plays which are more creative uses of game mechanics rather than actual exploits, even though in many cases they produce more actual returns than actual exploits, even things like dupes and stuff. Now, I just want to briefly address an issue that's been coming up a lot since the XP potion ban last month. I get this with literally every video, but it has been even more frequent of late, where people keep saying you will get banned for doing this. Bans are actually pretty rare, and I'd say about 95% to 98% of my content does not result in any action being taken against any player by Blizzard. In the case of the XP potion, it was clearly a different situation, and I did actually warn people very specifically and predicted almost exactly what would happen. This was several days before Blizzard said anything. Scenarios where an exploit goes public force Blizzard to react. However, in the vast majority of cases, exploits remain within the exploit community, and Blizzard generally ignore it. They may fix it, but they don't usually take action against players. Now, there's always the possibility that Blizzard may change their policy. However, their action with the XP potion ban was consistent with prior behaviour. However, I will state this, that if you're someone who aspires to or is playing at a very high level, then you probably should just stay away from any kind of exploit at all. You've got too much to lose. I'm an exploiter, I exploit. That's what I do. That's my goal, that's my endgame. If you aspire to high level rated PvP or PvE, then I think you should do it on the level. So there's the video. If you liked it, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. This has been Archfelder.